to Nerdy For, the comedy podcast where I, Amy Brown, ask fun and interesting people what they're nerdy for. I have a special treat. I have a New York City comedian right here in my costume chamber.
Hello, hello.
Yay, put your hands together. This is not for Katie Hannigan. It's like, this is how you bring people up to the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Amy. You're such a delight.
You're a delight.
Oh,
I'm so excited to have you. So I just picked up Katie at the airport because she's in town from New York City to do the stand-up comedies in Atlanta. And we have a different producer on the show. We have Corey.
Hello.
Corey's here. Usually we have Joel. Joel, his girlfriend, is at a wedding.
Oh, that's fun.
He's support staff for her. So it's lovely. But I'm so happy to have you here. We're gonna chit chat for a little bit, and then we're gonna find out what kind of nerd you are. Although like a Venn diagram where there's like two circles that overlap. I have a feeling because you're a theater major.
Yes, yeah.
You do stand-up comedy. Do you like costumes?
I do like costumes. I wouldn't say I'm nerdy for them.
Okay. Oh, I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think we might have a big overlap. But first, I want to say my friend Sally Brooks has a book called Going to Maine. Sally Brooks. Buy it on Amazon. She also did the Audible and she read it herself, and her voice is adorable. Buy it and read it because a month from now, or maybe even less, we're going to have her on the show, and I'm going to ask her questions and DM me, whatever it is when people communicate on the internet, and no weenie pics, but ask questions that you want me to ask Sally on the show. And let's get started. Hello, young lady.
Hi.
Can we share what you did today?
Yes. Yeah.
We
had a lovely time. Well, we did.
What did you do this morning on your phone?
Well, I bought my wedding dress.
She bought her wedding dress.
Yes. I was like, what do you know?
Yell it from the rafters.
I'm so thrilled. As I was telling you, this is actually something I am a little bit nerdy about because I'm an eco girl, as I was telling you, and I've been on a quest.
I didn't know if that was an allergy when you first said it.
Yeah. I'm allergic to eco. But I love doing, it was my quest, my journey to do an environmentally friendly wedding to offset the fact that people will be traveling to the wedding. So I've been trying to do everything used. I got my wedding dress on Still White for $400.
And it's called Still White because the dress is still white, even though your virginity is gone.
Yeah, yes. And even though it is actually ivory, which is more flattering for my tone.
Yes, it's good to know your ivory is in. Ivory is in.
I love an ivory, I have to say. I love an ivory. It's an ivory crepe. And the big thing that was very exciting, which won me over, is that it was already exactly altered to my measurements. There's a woman who has the same body as me walking around Minneapolis.
Minneapolis with your booty and your boobies and your waistline.
Sophia. Girl, thank you.
It's a doppelganger, but for your bits.
Yeah, yes. A butterface doppelganger.
I'm fascinated by that. I wonder where I am walking around. And then I wonder if I saw her body shape, if I would recognize it as my own, because I don't really pause that long to look in the mirror anymore. I just, I don't have spinach in my teeth and I keep running.
Yeah,
you don't want to pause too long the older you get.
Measuring my body for this dress was
a hate crime?
Yeah. It was eye-opening. Yeah, it was eye-opening. I actually was very close to buying another dress, and thank God I did measure myself because I would not have fit into it. I was like, that's what I just put on a dress. Like, that's how you get a dress. You get a dress, you put it on, and when I measured, that's when I learned that was no longer my wedding dress.
People have custom dummies that they can build clothes on to their exact measurements. So you could have your naked body just looking at you from the corner all day long.
You could have it in your bed. Nighty.
When you go out of town, when you're on tour, just put the mannequin that's for your building your clothes on.
I take
your
it with
husband's
me.
bed.
Yeah. Well, you know what I do when Mike is gone, when he's on his rounds doing the funnies, I will actually sleep on his side of the bed. Because then I don't wake up and miss him.
That's really sweet.
I wake up like, where am I?
I end up like that too, but it's because my dog displaces me. He starts parallel with me in the bed, and then he kind of rotates 30 degrees at a time until his butthole is pushing me directly perpendicular into
He's a big doggy.
He's
a big boy.
It's like a 100-pound black lab. And I keep waking up on my husband's side. And my side has a divot in it because I work in bed and I sleep in bed.
Oh, do you get dead butt? Do you ever get dead butt syndrome?
I think that's why I got sciatica problems.
Oh my gosh. I was getting dead butt like
What's dead butt? I'm writing it down. Dead butt.
It was something that came to light in the zeitgeist during the pandemic. And it's from when you sit. I get it when I go to the beach, when I sit in the beach chair because I don't have good alignment. Or if I sit like lounging on the couch like this, and your butt just goes numb.
Oh, well, my whole leg is numb right now, and we just sat down like 5 minutes ago.
You have dead leg syndrome.
It's sciatica.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough.
What would happen if your like whole body and brain is numb?
You're dead.
You're dead.
That's
I think I've been that way for a while.
Yeah. Oh, emotionally, are you okay?
Yeah. Is that a cry for help?
I don't know how I got here.
Dead butt. Yeah. Oh, all right. I could spiral all day about like the body ailments, but I want to keep this a positive podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
A place for giggles.
Absolutely.
And
I'm right on board with that.
And I definitely didn't have to stop making my podcast for 6 weeks because I was having a depressive spell.
But you know what? We're gonna blame that. We're gonna blame that on the hormones.
It's absolutely the hormones' fault.
Yeah, it happens.
For sure. Okay, so you have your dress.
I have my dress.
So I got married 24 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I was 12 and my parents signed the papers.
A real Southern wedding.
Yeah, I was 22 and that's still too young.
Wow.
It worked out. Like we've been married to like 3 or 4 different people now this whole time, even though it's the same body.
Yes.
The brain has changed a lot and we've almost been divorced a couple times, but we keep coming back to each other and we go to therapy and we've gotten good therapists. And so you keep kind of circling the wagon and back around. But we are like the last comic standing, the last team standing of our generation of people who got married right out of college.
Really?
I think almost all of them have gotten divorced, except for like 2 that I know. So, I mean, you know what? You have all these chapters in your life.
Yes. And I'm trying to do marriage preparations to not get divorced. I mean, you know, we're in a good place now. But my fiance is Catholic, not really practicing, but he's Italian. That's what I mean to say. He's
and
Italian.
Are you a vampire?
I
a mixed
am
marriage.
A shiksa for Catholics. I'm a witch. And well, we were thinking about like getting married in the Catholic Church, even though it's, you know, there are certain things about it that I find a bit too conservative for my liking. But they do something. They do the pre-canna where you go through the premarital couples counseling.
They have that in the Episcopalian Church as
okay.
well.
Yeah,
yes.
I think it's nice.
Then you don't have to have the long Catholic service.
Yes. Well,
which is an hour.
We're getting married on the beach, which is God's land. That's the church of the earth.
Will you still be then accepted into the Catholic Church?
No. And we're fine with that because we also decided we had a friend who did the pre-canna and he said it was just they were just asking him if he was gay over and over in different types of ways.
Latin, Italian,
I said, I don't know how
French.
supportive that's going to be for the relationship. But we're trying to do DIY. So we got a book called The 7 Principles of Making a Marriage Work. We've each read 2 chapters.
That's a lot. We got the baby books and we didn't read any of them.
It's long. Yeah, it's long. And it's by the Gottman Institute. But what they did was they took a ton of couples, like hundreds, maybe it was like 700 couples or something. They put them in, they called it like the Love Lab. It's a laboratory.
This sounds like a Netflix reality TV show.
Yes, it does. It was an experiment. But they put them in there and then they monitor them as they stay over in this like little place overnight. And then they could see, based on their behavior, the behaviors that predict divorce.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I've been told this by people who've been married a long time, mutual respect is the number one thing, and then you can kind of work around everything else. But if you lose respect for your spouse, it's game over.
Wow. Yeah.
That's how most jobs I had ended. The second I lose respect for management. I'm out.
Oh, you're probably an 8 on the Enneagram then. Do you know the Enneagram?
I wish I did because I've tried to scratch the surface, but I have not been able. I was on the Myers-Briggs for a while.
I've done that. Enneagram sounds like something I bought from a guy one time.
Enneagram is, yeah. Then that was a gram. Yes. That was an Enneagram.
Here's my money.
Oh my God.
I feel like Enneagram is like Myers-Briggs, like next level.
Well, I can tell it to you.
Yes, tell me.
I can. So, like, actually, a lot of the Christian religions, Presbyterians, Episcopalians, etc., have picked up the Enneagram as a way in their congregations and with like figuring out how to get people to work together to kind of bubble down personality types into a way that makes it easily understandable and having grace in your heart for people who are different than you, and for also understanding how people make decisions. So if you have a committee, some people are going to need 6 months to vote on something with lots of time for you to like re-explain it to them.
Okay.
And so if you're like trying to keep everybody happy in a congregation, that's good to know about. Some people can't look at this once and then make a decision. I do a quick one with puppets, like maybe.
I love that.
We'll do a quick one. I've been wanting to talk about the Enneagram on here on my podcast for a while. Okay, really quick. It's okay. It's a scale of 1 to 9 personality types, and it's supposed to be like 2,000 years old. It's not like in order, like better or worse, but this is how you know what your number is, because your tummy starts to hurt when you hear it described. You're like, oh God, who would want to be that? It's me. Okay, the 1 is a perfectionist. They constantly have a little critic on their shoulder telling them that they are not worthy of love if they are not perfect.
Okay.
Which is big. Not worthy of love is a huge...
That's a big one.
It's a big one. And they can also... They're kind of like black and white kind of thinkers. Gray takes time for them to get to that part in their lives when they're ready for that. Oh, and this is what you identify as like... in your younger life. As you age, you are able to be more flexible and pull skill sets from the other numbers. But this is like your core. And you are married to a 1 if they're like, how's the pressure in your tires? We really need to check the pressure in your tires. And that may or may not have happened to me.
Maybe based on reality.
Right. And so, but the way to help them is when they are spiraling because something's not perfect, and if they bleed over if they think their children need to be perfect because they feel like they won't be worthy of love if their children aren't perfect, that's where it gets dangerous.
Okay, yeah.
Or in their work situation. So one way I like to diffuse a 1 is like when they're spiraling or whatever, just be like, you're talking about my friend. My friend is good. My friend's a good person. This doesn't matter. There's no such thing as perfect. Everything's a scale. We're doing pretty good here. Yeah. That's all that matters. And okay, so that's a 1.
Okay.
The 2 is the person that wants everyone's needs to be met first so they can meet their own, because they were kind of given the message or absorbed the message. Like if everyone doesn't have their snack, then I won't be able to have my snack, or emotional needs first.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Oh,
yes.
Mom syndrome.
And so I will tend to be controlling around like a beach trip back in the day with a lot of kids. I would like pre-negotiate emails being like, where are people sleeping? Let's decide this now. Who's in charge of what meals? So I could take myself off the list of feeling like there needed to be food for everyone all the time.
Yeah.
One time I was laying on the bathroom floor and my husband looked at me and he's like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, we don't have cake and your dad's coming and he loves cake. My husband's like, oh, sweetheart, you're twoing. My father will be fine without cake. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, you're twoing. That's a great way to call it out in a fun way. And
I have 3 friends who are 2s. And so when we travel together, are you twoing too much about this? Don't worry about... that dinner reservation.
Yeah, I always say that I find I am a people pleaser, so maybe I fall into that category too. But remains to be seen because I haven't heard them all. But I always find that when I'm with another person who's a people pleaser, we are people pleasing each other, and it just feels so safe.
It's safe, but you're also not getting anything done.
Nothing's happening. Yeah, nothing's being. We're just checking in.
Someone has to be like, I want to go to have Mexican or whatever the thing is that you're kind of trying to get a decision about. Yeah,
you're like,
Yeah.
It's an anxious space to be in, for sure.
I feel the most intimate with a friend when I know all, like, they are allergic to avocado, they don't like cilantro. I know all their needs. I know what they like to eat for lunch, and I can just make the reservation or whatever. And they're like, thank you for taking the reins on that. And I didn't have to check in. Like, I just, and then they could do the same thing for me.
Yes, I do love that.
That's real intimacy.
A trust. Yeah, that's a huge trust. Like picking a lunch place.
Woof.
It's a challenge.
I'm sweating just saying those words. Okay. A 3 on the Enneagram. This is a person that's like, they look perfect on the outside. Like they have the perfect car, whatever that is, the perfect watch, the good haircut, the good degree. But if you open up a drawer, absolute chaos.
Ah, interesting.
They're the performer.
Yes.
They feel like they are, this is where they think that a person is shallow. And this is where the Enneagram brings in grace in your heart for people. They're feeling like they're not worthy of love if they don't show up looking absolutely like everything is okay and pulled together and tight.
Wow. Okay.
So that, they're like, that sounds exhausting.
Yes. And that's why your stuff is messy.
That's why this stuff is
so
messy.
busy being hot.
Maybe that's why you lost your temper at something.
Yeah.
So that's the 3. The 4 is okay. The 4 is like the goth people.
Oh,
they have all the feelings. They're able to feel them. They don't want to fit in. Like being like living in a suburban area and doing all the normal stuff would make their skin crawl. Like they cannot. They have to set themselves apart. They are artists. They the quote I was given. I gotta remember the name of the lady who wrote the book. But she said, like, you want to sit Shiva with a 4 because you can be crying and they're okay. It doesn't, the big emotions don't scare them.
Ah, interesting. Yes, that's so necessary.
Like
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
we
found it.
And it's interesting. Like, for me, when a 2 is in their health, we'll go to 4. We'll like be okay being alone. We'll be okay feeling our feelings, and we'll do something creative.
Because I'm like the friend that everybody else goes to because I'm like the emergency contact friend.
Yeah.
Like, everybody comes
it.
to me for things. Yeah. But it's also because like growing up the way I did, it's like, I'm okay with it. I'm good.
Yeah. It's not going to be too much for you. 5 is like a recluse, like a guy who's a professor who lives alone and just with his books, and then like you go to his funeral and you're like, I didn't know he was doing fly fishing. Like he doesn't care or she doesn't care to get all their friends together. They have there's a tiny handful of social energy to give out every day, and when it's gone, it's gone.
Okay.
And so like that'll be the friend on your, I'm thinking of a good friend right now from college who we were listening to the Enneagram together, and she's like, that's me. She will, and we'll have like a text change together. She will once every 30 texts do 1 text, and then she has to lay down and rest.
Yes, yes.
But she's super fun to be around, and she's funny. But that's all she's got to give, and we're there for it when it's ready. And it's also like an intellectual. She's very much an intellectual.
I love it. I haven't found my one yet, except for I feel like 2 maybe.
Yeah, we'll keep going. The 5. So we just did the 6. Now, like, the 6 is kind of a fear-based person.
Ooh, okay.
And it can be the kind of fear person who goes towards the fear, like to conquer it.
Oh,
like
interesting.
if they'll be like aggressively doing things that they're terrified of, or away from it. And there's like phobic or another word that goes with that. And I'm dyslexic, so I forget it. But like if you have a friend that has like a lot of bolts and chains on their door, even though they're in the middle of like Ohio, or afraid to fly, or this is like a lot of their decision making is around fear. And the 6 is the people who need a long time to make a decision.
Okay.
And there's a lot of 6s in the world. So that's something
interesting
to consider. The 7 is the epicureal person.
Oh.
They have your phone number. You don't have theirs. They only they want to have they want to do spontaneous fun constantly. They can't stop. They can't slow down. and have deep thought, deep feelings, or deep conversations. They will start cracking jokes because they're very uncomfortable in that energy. And it's because it's too painful. So this is a coping mechanism. And so they just are going to go along on the surface of things. And whenever it gets, they're fun. Unless you need to have a deep conversation with someone that you're very close to and they can't do it. That's got to be like awful. The 8. Okay. The 8 is one of my favorite numbers. It has the most power. And they are not afraid of arguing. It gives them energy. So you can like debate. Corey's
Yikes.
Oh, you're getting your tummy flip flopping. It gives them energy. It's debate. It means you care about them. That you're having this debate at a party, and then the 2's like, "Why did you ruin my party?" And the 8's like, "What? We were just having a conversation." And the 8. And women can come out as bitch 8 bitchy. However, like I have so many 8 friends, and a lot of them are lawyers fighting for justice. I've got one who's a teacher who started this nonprofit to get resources to new teachers in underserved schools. Like they have all this energy to change the world, and they're not afraid of having hard conversations. So an 8 and a 7 will often get together, and they also are like. Either lead and do it right or get out of my way. Yeah.
Hugely.
Yeah. So if an 8 will get bored in a job, if the person who's in charge of it, they sense is not doing a good job yes.
That's the whole reason I got out of food service.
I have a book for you. It's The Path Between Us, the Enneagram, and there's another one. I'm ranking notes for myself. I will put these books in the what's that called? The text part of a podcast?
Yeah, the text part.
Okay, Enneagram. Enneagram books.
Very interesting. I feel like as I'm hearing it, I'm diagnosing everyone I know around me.
Yes. And you're not supposed to tell someone their number. It's rude, but it's fun. It's fun. I love it.
You're a 4.
Yes.
I do see what you're saying about kind of shifting in as you move to a place of mental health and kind of owning all of your parts.
Yes.
Shifting between the numbers.
Right.
Like, so now sometimes I'm over here, sometimes I'm over here, which is, I like this more than Myers-Briggs is so different in a way because it's just about like, you're kind of locked in and you can change, but it's more about like your perceptions and how you kind of deal with the world around you and less about what your unique trauma is.
What your unique trauma is and what other unique traumas are so you can work with people.
Yes.
So if you have an 8 on your team and you're their manager, you got to know that and like bring them on board to like either to take their own project on. You have to give them a lot of like give them so they feel like they're making a change and they're doing it right and like so
it's a huge asset.
It's really cool. They're perimenopause brain fog. So owning like what you are good at or bad at and what you have done poorly in the past, that's part of the 12-step program.
Oh, is it?
Yes. I didn't. I just learned that this week. Amends.
Making the amends.
So you go around and it's bigger than just apologizing for being drunk in front of people. It's like, what have you done even when you were sober that wasn't like above board or your best self? Like I think the Enneagram is like, what am I good at? What am I good at in a way that's making it bad for me?
Right.
And then how is it what are these other people doing around me? Okay, we got to finish the numbers. So the 8 is the power one. Again, knowing someone's an 8 now has made space for me to be closer to my 8 friends because I'm not so afraid of them.
Yes, yeah.
Because I would think they were fighting with me in the past. And now I'm like, oh, this is just being an 8. And then I'll pull over like my other friend who's good at arguing. I'm like, talk to this one.
Like, I get that I'm intimidating all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All the time.
You're aiding. You're out there aiding.
I'm aiding.
Aiding and abetting.
Because I ate.
She ate.
She ate. Nope.
She came, she ate, she abetted. Okay, and then the 9. No, I guess Obama is supposed to be a 9.
Okay.
A 9 can see both sides of every argument.
Oh.
And they're very calm energy. and like they're up for kind of anything. Like if you're trying to go out to dinner, the 9 absolutely doesn't care where you go. I mean, every once in a while they could have a feeling, and you're like, oh, the 9's having a feeling. Everyone listen, like it's a big deal. The 2 will say they don't care, but the 2 cares and has a place they want to go, but they're just trying to like get everyone else there without actually being the person who has a feeling, because we got the impression that we're not allowed to have needs
right
when we're young. Oh, I forgot to say that the 8, the aggressive energy, is told or figured out as a child that they can't rely on people.
Oh, interesting.
So
very interesting.
It'll be a lot of broken marriage, broken homes, and they're like where their parents fell apart on the parenting side, and the kid felt unsafe or uncared for or not like enough, and so like F all y'all. I'm taking over. I'm going to be in check. Corey, are you okay?
Yeah, no, it's just my hands are sweaty. No, that's crazy. It's just like right on the money.
Are you close enough to the microphone that everyone's hearing you? Is it in your ears?
Yeah, like I can hear
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the 9, so you'll have a lot of 8 women with 9 men, because the 8 woman has all the opinions, all the hard conversations ready to go, and the 9 guy's like, okie dokie.
Oh, the 9 gets the 8.
Yeah. It's cute.
Special.
It's cute. So that's the Enneagram. And I was going to say in a butthole, but that's not what it is.
In a nut hole.
In a nut hole. In a nutshell. And of course, this is all pseudoscience, but.
Right. And it all is.
I mean, it's up there with like Zodiac.
Yes.
Like compartmentalizing.
But you don't have to memorize dates, so that's why I'm on board. And it's only 9 numbers.
Just a few numbers. All I care about is, am I able to go to my friend and diagnose them and make it their problem?
Make it their problem.
You're a real 3.
Well,
just so you know.
You've been together with your fiance long enough. Have you figured out yet that most of the arguments you have with your spouse are actually stuff that's boiling up inside of you from your childhood or past relationships that you're working on?
Yeah.
And then it's actually really more about you, and you have to do the work yourself?
Yes, we have to do the work of not escalating, as
womp,
my therapist
womp.
calls it. Yeah. We don't escalate.
Yeah.
We
and
take a breather.
You go and you cry in the garage.
But I live in New York City, so I have to cry in the deli.
I think about this all the time. All the time. Some comedian was talking about, like, she doesn't have her car to cry in anymore because she moved from LA to New York.
We just cry in public there. You just cry on the train. Yeah.
In public.
I remember the first time I cried in New York, I was working at a kid's birthday party place. I was doing admin, and I had to get copies made at Kinko's, and it was so stressful and so hard that I just broke down. I didn't get the copies made, and I just walked through the streets crying, and nobody even noticed me. No one looked. No one gave me a second look. I was like, I might as well just be alone in my car right now. It's so
right?
Great.
It's great. And then I saw what I thought was a runner passed out on the ground when I was in New York last week. He was wearing running clothes. He was and sweating, and everyone was just stepping over his body and not helping him at all. So I mean, it's good that you're alone, but you're really alone.
Yes. Yeah. New York.
Alone in a crowd.
New York. Although I will say, eventually someone will call 911.
Oh, that's nice.
Eventually someone will call.
Maybe someone had already called, and they were therefore this
they were just
inside,
waiting to the side
on the phone, because you have to go inside to be on a phone in 2024. You don't have one in your pocket.
I have called 911 on somebody I felt in danger in New York before.
If you're having a psychotic break, you could be just a normal person.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden be naked in your yard. You don't know when it's coming.
You just need the ambulance to come. But the thing I think that stops a lot of people from calling is, that you have the there's some kind of law that if you call 911 on someone, then you have to stay there and wait with them.
Oh.
And if it's like a grown man and he's in a psychotic break and you're a woman,
that's dangerous.
You can't, what are you supposed to do? So maybe you call 911, you're waiting across the street, you have to wait with a friend, So
that's a lot. Why don't you say 911 and then run away?
Hi, 911.
Are they gonna trace your phone and then come serve you a ticket?
Well, I think the law is, I think it's like St. Peter's law or something. I remember this from when I was teaching preschool, and we did 911 safety courses. We did, all of the ABC, chest compressions and all of that. But it's if something happens to that person because you left, then you could be found liable for abandoning them.
It's ridiculous. That makes people then want not to call 911.
I mean, yeah, I think it does sometimes.
Yeah, and did you know, like, if you're a doctor person and you're an emergency, sometimes like on an airplane or whatever, you have to stay and do paperwork afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's like when, like, is there a doctor on the? Have you ever seen, like, is there a doctor or a medical person on the flight? You kind of see people looking like, is someone else gonna go? I got a connection. I can't stay and do the paperwork.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss my trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, like, do we have any emergency medicine people on board? Because I work with feet. Like,
I'm a podiatrist. Well, sometimes you don't know. Sometimes it's like they just say, is there a doctor on board? They don't say, like, this guy's having a heart attack. They just say, like, he's feeling a little sick. They don't know.
Well,
you can't know. It might be a dramatic person.
I have a friend who travels a lot, and she's been on 2 flights where someone has passed away.
On the flight?
On the flight. And then
my God.
when you land, everyone stays in their seat, and the EMTs come on, and they put them on the stretcher and then cover them with a sheet and bring them off.
Oh, that's terrible. I have had to do an emergency landing before.
I've had to do like 2 of those.
Yeah, and you know, usually the person is fine, thank goodness, but it's like, you know, you can't take chances. Just take the plane down. Take the plane down.
There was a lady in our flight, and she's like, I found out, like, we were sitting next to the doctor that worked on her, so we asked questions, and she's like, she has this weird condition where her blood pressure will go way low, and she'll pass out, and it looks like she's dead. So she, like, basically she has
gosh.
And then she, like, came, like, they got some liquid into her, and she was fine. Like, they took her off in a wheelchair, but she's gonna be okay. But, like, what a condition to have. That's like playing dead, but as a human. Like, don't lizards do that? Like, don't
playing possum.
Possum. Her body is part possum. We were in Texas.
Oh yeah. Roadkill, little roadkill.
A little roadkill. A roadkill lady. Okay. Well, we can start to find out what kind of nerd you are. Did you know what kind of number you are? Just like a little tingling?
Well, you know, it was really interesting because I felt a lot of 2, I felt a lot of 6, I did feel a lot of 4, and then I felt a lot of 9. So I feel like where I am in my life journey now, because I have done a lot of work on myself. I've done a lot of therapy. I'm on medication, Zoloft. And so I feel like...
Shout out Zoloft.
Shout out. It's helping. I feel like I'm in such a good place with my mental health that maybe it's hard, you know, maybe I am kind of in between places now, and I've kind of maybe I'm evolved. Is that what I'm trying to say? Maybe I'm better,
right?
But yeah, I'm definitely not a 9 all the time. You know, definitely not 4 all the time.
Right. So I've been like really leaning. So I have a 4 wing because of the 2-ness, and I've been leaning into it in I wanted to say the twilight of my life, but I'm only 47 or 8. I keep forgetting when I was born, and I am being so much more creative, spending so much more time alone, so much more time not caring for other people, which I don't even care if the dog goes to a good college at this point. That's where I'm at. I don't even make him sit for a bone.
Like, he can go to a state school. He's fine.
He's fine. And I do still have a child at home that needs parenting, so that's too bad. But Mama's well is dry. So I'm doing all this creative things. So my 4 energy, and it's been so rewarding. A part of it too is you don't know what you want. Like when someone's like, "What should we do this weekend?" I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know what I want. I have like it's really hard for me to figure it out. I've got to talk about it, think about it, talk to friends, and then I can figure it out." Right? And 8's like, "We're doing this." I'm like, "Okay, thank you, 8 friend."
Yeah. Yes.
Take the 8 friend, take the wheel.
It takes a village. It takes a village to have a weekend.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe all of those, and then. And it's so nice getting older. I really like the wisdom part.
Oh, I do enjoy it. I'm 38, and I was reading a book recently, a fantastic book, which I cannot recommend enough, especially if you're a type of person that loves to read something a little scary during Halloween time. I read The Shards by Bret Easton Ellis. Have you read this?
I've heard it was really good. I've had a couple friends read it.
Do look into it. Well, it's set in 1981 in LA, so it's
you weren't born yet.
I wasn't born yet.
Woo.
Yeah. Scary. But the main character is 17 years old, and all of the parents are like 38, 39, 40, 41, 45. Like the one older parent is like 52, which is the age of my fiance who has no kids. And so it's so interesting just thinking about age in relation to the time period that we're in versus the 80s and 40 years later.
Yeah. People had babies younger.
Really young. And to think that like there's a scene where he's having the 17-year-old's having a like lunch with a 32-year-old woman, and it's like she seems so old, and I'm like, but wait, she's a baby. She's a baby.
Amen. Amen. Yeah. Efron, lady named Efron, and she wrote, "I'm mad at my neck."
I'm mad at my neck. I love this.
She, good. I talked about her in the last time I was on a podcast. Usually Joel has a computer. It's okay. I'll do it. Efron. Okay. Efron. Efron lady, mad at my neck. It's a book. You keep talking.
Anyway, I love my neck. I have a long neck.
Not Zac Efron. Jesus Christ.
Not Zac Efron, but that was a good guess. Because neck and Zac sounds similar. Anyway, I love the shards. I love aging.
Nora Ephron.
Oh, Nora Ephron. Yes. Okay.
Oh, I just sweated through my dress trying to remember Nora Ephron's name, and I literally talked about her on the last podcast.
I like Nora Ephron.
So oh fuck, why did I bring her up?
I'm mad at my neck.
Mad at my neck.
What's
you
this
were talking
book?
about people getting young, people getting old. She wrote something in this book that I was going to say, and I have a brain fog.
That's okay. You know what? There's no judgment. We were talking a little bit about Botoxies.
I remember.
Was it that, Tweakies?
She said, okay, so the reason, like back in old-fashioned times, all the women like in their 50s looked 1,000 years old.
Okay, yes.
And it's because they didn't have good hair dye yet. When your hair went gray, your choice was like the blue lady hair. Remember, like they had blue hair?
Yes.
And now we've got good hair dye. So and we've got good face lasers.
Yes.
And face creams. And
sunscreen.
Space lasers. Maybe that's what's coming and helping our face. The sun is already up there ruining the face. We can get the Jewish space lasers.
A different laser. We need a different laser.
My dermatologist is Jewish. I can ask her about it.
Yes.
Dr. Gans.
Dr. Gans, I'm thinking about getting a red light panel for the face. Have you heard of these?
I've seen it on the internet.
High frequency machine is what I use. Those are also really good.
Oh,
it's like uses different frequency.
You're just putting your vibrator on your face, sweetheart.
Yeah. It really tickles.
I've done that already a couple times.
It's really getting off.
I need to massage my gums.
Yeah, I haven't gotten it yet because I feel it's a little unwieldy, and I don't want it to be an eyesore in my apartment, which that's my fear.
You live in a New York City apartment. How big is your apartment? I was afraid to ask when I was showing you my walk-in closet with wallpaper on the ceiling.
It's about the size of your closet, I would say. No, it's 600 square feet. It's just me and my fiance. So it's actually from my previous living situations, which was basically like my own bedroom and sharing with roommates. This is a lot more space for me. But I'm really trying to keep the aesthetic very clean and very minimalist because it's like you go outside, it's like a cacophony. We live by the hospital. There's sirens. There's horns. It's like I want it to, when you come in, I just need it to be very visually simple.
Yes.
For the decompression.
Yeah. People talk about having white sheets or beige, like sand color sheets. So it's just, you can just cocoon in your bed and be calm.
Yes. We do have neutral sheets, but I will say my linen for the bedspread is always, I do a light floral.
Yeah. Light
floral, something earth tones. And then in our living room, we actually have a really beautiful floor. It's black. It's been refinished as a black floor. So we have a matching black couch. Ooh. And then we have some beautiful art, some beautiful abstract art that's in primary colors. And then this is where I went badly wrong. And when I got the rug, I was telling you about my rug.
It happens. It happens.
It's terrible. It's primary colors. And I thought, this will match the paintings, but it's giving circus.
Is it geometric primary pattern? Is it evoking the 80s?
It's oriental. So I thought this will be nice, but it's just not there. It looks like ketchup, mustard.
Too much, too intense
the
colors.
The central kind of figure is like a red circle with a blue. And it looks like an eye, a bloodshot eye.
Oh, no.
So I just stare at it.
Did you buy it online?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Okay. So this is.
I'll buy that off of you. That sounds sick.
Oh my gosh, yes. I will give it to you. Please take it off my hands.
I'm sure the shipping from New York City will be cheap. Buying carpets online is so hard because the carpet fiber, a lot of it has a nape or like a nap to it. And so from one direction, a carpet will look one color, and from another, it'll look like completely lighter.
Okay.
So it's very hard to see. With their lighting, it's so hard to buy a carpet online. So it's just good to do
that
cheap
makes me feel
ones.
better.
Cheap ones, and then you can just Facebook Marketplace it when you're done. If you don't like it, you just know you're taking a risk. So
that makes me feel so much better because I did not know that, and now I'm like, of course, of course, I didn't choose a bad rug.
No,
I was choosing a rug that I thought would look amazing, and then it.
So there's a thing with fancy furniture stores. They'll let designers take things out on approval.
Oh,
so we can bring it into the client. Well, like the place I worked at in DC, you could get like a truckload of furniture installed into a client's house from this boutique, and they would come home from work. It's all installed, ready, and the client could be like, "Oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed. I had zero time because it's DC. They're all like working government jobs or lawyer things, and like I had no time to do this. It needs to look fine." And they would take everything and maybe switch out a piece of art. Wow. It would be all set up for you. So on approval, they'll just take a little bit of your like the credit card chargey thing, and then at the end of the day, they'll charge it all. So even designers need to like bring the lampshade over to the lamp and try it on the table, and then return it. And that's why I'm not an interior designer anymore.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting.
I can't with my sciatica. Are you kidding? Driving around in the Atlanta traffic all day in the sweating and the hot.
It is Hotlanta.
Hotlanta.
That's why they call it Hotlanta.
Yeah. So treat yourself. Try things on.
Yes.
In the interior design world, and then maybe it doesn't work. And you also designed your house without having a vision board.
I was telling you that I went a little willy-nilly. Well, this was my first time really choosing and putting together furniture at the age of 35, which is how old I was when I moved in, and I was too confident. I came in hot. I thought, please, and this was during the pandemic too. So like, I remember we just went to the couch store. We got a couch I do like our couch, but it is like a Raymore and Flanagan. Like it's a very regular couch, and it's good for the apartment. But I wish I had gotten like a better couch, an amazing, like, we live by a Housing Works in New York, which is an incredible thrift shop, and they do home decor in there as well, and every thing that they sell benefits HIV and people living with AIDS, etc.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's an amazing cause, and they get these incredible pieces in there, and there's one a block away from my home. I walk past it every day. Every day I see a new different couch that I wish I would have bought. I'm like, we could have gone pink.
At least you are doing that with the couch and not with the fiance.
Yes, yeah, that's. I know. I'm like, fiance. Who cares?
If you
I need my rugs.
But this is the thing. I've lived long enough now. When I was in my 20s and I was decorating, I was like, this is a classic design I've made. I'll love it for the next 30 years. Fast forward 5 years later, I'm like, we need to redo it all.
I love it.
Because styles do change, and then at different parts of your life, you crave something different. I've done several homes where the children have left the nest, and the primary caretaker is like, I want zen. I want like just subtle shades of light blue and beachy colors and just everything tidy and put away, because I have lived in chaos for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting a white carpet.
White everything.
White everything. And I love doing that for them. It feels, I'm not good at therapy, but I feel like I can at least make this house nice for this person.
Oh my gosh.
Who's transitioning into the next phase of their lives.
Yeah.
All right, my dear, we're going to do the Sometimes I Do It 1940s lady.
Oh, I love it.
Lovely. I feel like I could do this with you all day.
Oh, yes, you may.
You fit right into my front parlor.
Do tell.
Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Oh, Star Wars.
Star Wars. And how far do you take it?
You know, let me tell you this.
Princess Leia costume?
Yes.
Okay, girl. I see you.
So I'm pretty much original Star Wars. I didn't really dip into The Mandalorian. However, I've dressed as Princess Leia 3 times in my life, thrice. I worked at the observatory in college, the astronomy observatory.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
I dressed as Princess Leia for Halloween. I would welcome school groups.
Oh my gosh, the bikini one? Did you wear the bikini outfit?
Obviously.
For the children?
Hello. Yeah, and I had Jabba the Hutt. That was my
with a chain around your waist.
Yeah. I said, this is normal. This is normal.
Hi, children. These are nipples.
Yeah. Welcome. Yeah, science is sexy. And then I think one time I just did it, just a regular Halloween costume, but the third and final time I dressed as Princess Leia when I was 27. I had gone through a breakup, so I had a big blowout birthday party in New York City, Star Wars theme.
Nice. A Star Wars theme. Okay, party. Yes. Okay.
I dressed as Leia. I was actually, I'm trying to remember my outfit. I think it was pretty slutty. I don't think it was like the classic white garb, but I had very long hair for a long time, so I rolled it in socks. I did the whole buns. Had a Star Wars cake. Had Star Wars playing in the back room of an old bar in New York. It was Professor Tom's, now closed. And I ended up staying all night and made out with the manager.
Ooh.
We later went on a date, but it never worked out.
Well, that sounds like a fun birthday party, though.
It
that sounds like a really good blowout.
Because it had
it had a kissing at the end.
Kissing at the end.
And it wasn't like a dog. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're very Star Warsy. Okay, fantastic. All right, have you ever ridden a unicycle?
No.
Have you played a woodwind instrument?
Yes, I did play flute. I played the flute in middle school and 1 year of high school.
Did you do band camp?
No.
Any kind of camp?
I actually did a speech camp.
Oh, that's a new one. I'm adding it to the list of weird camps.
My speech team in high school was sponsored by the local mortuary, Flanner Buchanan.
Because they can't speak anymore.
Yes, we were the voice for the dead, but they for some reason, I can't remember why, but they were supporting the speech team for some reason. They paid for us to go to a speech camp, which was great.
Does everyone in your town have a lisp?
What was it about?
Is it Fire Island?
Yeah, we also had like multiple parties for the speech team at the funeral home. Why? What was that?
Okay, and then was
that's
it
just cool?
Was it?
Yeah, it was
this goth girl.
Yeah.
Was it like a guy that wanted to hang out with children?
I think Professor Buck. No, I think that maybe the owner had been a speech team person.
Oh,
does that make sense?
He's reliving his glory days through the young.
Yeah, like something like that. Even
speech team. Yeah. Okay.
Speech team. Now, if you were into drama in high school, speech team, because of course I was in the drama club. I was the president.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Okay. Drama club president.
Yeah. And the speech team, everybody who was in the drama club was in the speech team. So it was highly dramatic. There was a lot of intrigue. There was scandal. And it was just a lot of good, clean fun. Spreading a rumor.
Rumors, a coup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I could just imagine. It was like that Dreyfus show that she was VP.
Oh, VP.
Yeah,
Veep.
Yeah. Yeah, Veep. I can just imagine all that going on.
Love it.
Hooking up, Madam President. Where they call you Madam President.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's hot.
Of course.
I like
that. Of course.
I like a lady in power. Have you ever been to like Comic-Con, Dragon Con?
No, I never have, but I would like to do something like that. I just never do fun activities because I'm always doing stand-up stuff.
Yeah. Do you say huzzah?
No, I don't know that one.
It's like it's from the Ren fairs.
Oh,
have you been to a Ren fair? I
have been to two in high school, and every year I think about going to the one in Tuxedo Park, New York, and I'm not going this year because my friend who lives by there had a baby.
And babies are disgusting.
Yeah, they hate them in the Ren fair.
You don't want to get
mortality.
You don't want to get sick from the baby.
No. But I did have a friend who had a Renaissance themed wedding, which I loved. It was so fun.
Oh, really? You've been to a okay.
Yeah.
A Renaissance themed wedding. Have you ever done Ben or like a one in Disney, a Disney wedding?
No, that sounds fun though.
You would like that?
I would love it.
Okay, so you love Disney?
I'm on board. I don't love Disney, but I don't. there's a lot of hate for Disney adults right now. I say it's fun.
One of my best friends is a Disney adult, and I talk about how we're not the same. It's not the same thing as theater nerds.
Yeah.
Don't put us in the same group.
Little different.
Yeah. Have you ever worn a costume more than one day in a row? Like you went goth, or you're just like, this is me now?
Well, I am kind of into the androgynous look. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't call that a costume, just more as like a style of dress. Like I had a really short haircut last summer and I loved it. It was so hard to maintain, but I was like really feeling myself. I felt kind of like a spaceship captain, you know? Like I'm a straight lady. I'm engaged to a man, but like, in space, you don't have time to sexualize yourself, you know, because you're running around.
You're busy.
With
you're
a wrench.
Empowered. It doesn't matter. You're still getting laid. You don't have to work for it.
Yeah, it's very sexy. So I liked it. And my fiance also liked it.
Did he like it?
He loved it.
Oh
he loves my hair short.
Does he?
He's got because he's from the 90s. So he loves, it was like very kind of like Demi Moore and Ghost was my look.
Okay.
Yeah.
My husband says if I cut my hair, he'll leave me.
I think you would look so cute with a little bob, little French bob.
We're keeping that because now it's gray underneath all this dye. So we're keeping it. And P.S. Here's just a little public safety announcement. PSA. When you get older, be sure to dye even when it goes gray, dye it pink or purple or something fun. So when you're in a hospital bed, you don't look older. Like, because you have to go to the hospital and you have gray hair and they're like, this person is coming here to die.
That is a PSA. Yeah, but then if you have blue hair, they're like,
no, she's vibrant.
Yeah, well, she's probably only like 44.
Right. She's been a hard 50. She's had a hard life, and now she's got this purple hair.
I'm actually thinking about dyeing my hair for my wedding. I'm actually growing it out for my wedding, but I would like to go a few shades darker, actually. Or like a sultry raven.
Okay, you want to change. That's a big change to do before your wedding. As someone who I accidentally dyed my hair black recently.
Really?
Because I miscommunicated with my hairdresser, and now I have black hair. And I thought I'll be fine, but every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, oh yeah, that's me.
I love your hair. It's such a gorgeous chestnut.
It's thank you, but it's not what I've been having for the last 48 years. And so for your wedding, I might not decide to do something that you haven't done before.
That is sound advice, and I will consider it. Although I also on the other end. Highlights. What if I get highlights?
Have you had highlights before?
No.
Then no. You know what? We're talking about your post-wedding malaise you're going to have because you don't have something fun to plan. Mm-hmm. That's when you're going to turn towards your hair.
Yeah, okay, yes. That's when I will settle into my new identity.
That's when you change your person. Yeah, yes. That's the thing that you can look forward to and micromanage.
Actually, I love that. That's a great idea.
Okay. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah.
Do you have a tattoo? Please don't tell me you're thinking about getting one for your wedding.
Oh my God. Just a little something on the neck.
Oh my God. Something on the face?
I actually do have a tattoo. This is very dramatic of me, but it's on my ribs here. So I got it on my ribs because I was like, if I need to audition for a commercial in my bra and panties, I don't want them to see that I have a tattoo. But it says Memento Mori. I got it when I was 18.
Oh, that's the Latin something that's famous.
It means remember you'll die, which I know. It's like YOLO. It's like the equivalent of YOLO that I had tattooed on my body. Yeah. But I was very deep when I was 18 and I needed people to know that about me.
This is some 4 energy coming through.
Yes,
I'm going to write that up here at the top. 4 question mark. Did your drama club, all of them get that too? Was that part of it? Part of the initiation?
I did actually. Well, I was in college at the time and I did have quite a few of my college friends came with me to the tattoo parlor. Yes. It was a big to-do. I practiced my, what's that type of breathing?
Lamaze.
Yeah, my Lamaze breathing.
Did it hurt a lot?
It didn't really hurt at all, actually. It's just a teeny tiny tattoo.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I have my ribs done, and it was painful.
Oh,
really?
Was
so painful.
I feel like it's there's a lot of
it's
bones
the vibrating.
There.
Yeah, on the bone.
Your rib
it's
cage.
just uncomfortable.
Owie. Yeah, I don't know that I would get another tattoo just because I think that, like, I guess I've kind of grown out of that at this point in my life where I'm like, I don't know. I just don't even ever think of it. But I wanted to get something. I wanted to get like a little cute one on my tush for a little while. But like the thought of just going in and dealing with the hurting No.
Right. And I feel like I already have enough doctor's appointments. I'm not going to make another one, to go get tattooed. It feels like a doctor's appointment. There's needles involved. There's alcohol. You're there for a while. And then but when I, in my freshman year dorm, like the first month in the freshman year in the dorm, there was carloads. It was a women's college, carloads of girls going to get piercings, tattoos. It's like,
I love it.
Girls gone wild away from their parents. It's time to get tattoos.
I love it. That's such women's college. That's
energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So fun.
Have you written fan fiction?
Oh, no, I have not. I feel like I wrote some erotica.
Ooh.
But I can't remember what it was. There was a period where I was really obsessed with, it must have been Game of Thrones or something. I don't know. Maybe a little erotica, but
right?
Nothing. I'm not
Siblings
a fan fiction
doing
author.
it.
Yeah. Jon Snow.
What's hotter than that?
Snow means snow.
Okay. Oh, that counts. I'm going to write it down. You did some fan fiction, basically. Erotica. That's in the same section of the Venn diagram. Who was your celebrity crush when you were a teenager?
Oh, this is so mortifying and actually ironic and hilarious at the same time. I was obsessed. I saw the movie City of Angels. And I fell head over heels in love with Nicolas Cage. I was 11. I was a blooming girl. I watched every Nicolas Cage movie I could get my hands on. Peggy Sue Got Married, Face Off, which is insane.
Yeah.
Snake Eyes. My grandmother took me to see that in the theater.
My God. I feel like your little legs didn't even touch the floor of the theater. You're just kicking, kicking little legs over the theater.
Yes, I was like, what's happening in this? I had no idea. I was just horny for Nick. And, I remember thinking at 11, my mom got me for my birthday. For my 12th birthday, she got it. It was like an Us magazine with a spread of Nicolas Cage in it, and he had like an Egyptian cotton bathrobe. It was kind of open, and I had it in my locker at school. Why? People were like, "What is that?" And it's so funny because I remember I would fantasize about him, and I would think like, he's so much older than me. It will never work out. And here, just a few years ago, I found that he just got remarried for, however many times, 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever. His wife is like 10 years younger than me now.
Whoa.
So it's like, I thought I was too young for Nicolas Cage, but actually I wasn't young enough by a lot.
Oh my gosh.
His current bride was like 2 at that time.
Did you have boys coming up to your locker when you had this little piece of pornography in your locker? Were they trying to ask you out on dates and stuff, or did you have moves in high school, or were you just having crushes on all the gay guys like I was?
Well, when I was in high school, I did have a couple moves. This was like a little bit after my Nicolas Cage era, but my main move throughout high school and college, and actually into my 20s, was fortune telling. If I liked a guy, I would invite him to get his fortune read by tarot.
That's hot, actually.
Yeah, and on my bed, sitting crisscross.
Fortune telling.
Very intimate. And then I would also use the cards to see if he was an asshole.
Oh, like his response to that is brilliant. People should bring this back. This is brilliant.
No, that's so smart because most of the time men don't know what tarot is, so you can just tell them anything.
Yeah,
you can tell them whatever.
This one is saying you have herpes.
Yeah. Does that track? This one says that you fought with your mother last week. What was that about? Fortune telling to get guys. I never thought of that.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I just was looking more, making eye contact too long and then turning red.
That's fun too. I like that. Just a little staring.
A little
horny staring contest.
A little horny stare. Did you like doing school supplies shopping? Does the fall to this day get you excited?
Oh, yes. I'm heavily invested in all of that. I love back to school. So I actually did do a few upgrades in my life for back to school. We got some new stuff around the kitchen. I got a new blender, and I also got a new Nespresso.
Oh, Mazel tov.
Yeah, thank you.
There's gonna be nothing left over for wedding presents.
I know, but
treat yourself.
I know. That's what I said. I said, I just have to get this now. The wedding is in a long time, and there will be other gifts, I'm sure. But I love doing that's not necessarily school supplies, but for me, the fall time is always a little time to upgrade and prepare.
Get ready for the new school year.
Hunker down and move forward.
Yeah. For me, September will always be the beginning of a new school year emotionally.
Yes.
January is halfway through.
Yeah. Right? Definitely.
I'm a school-based person, I guess. After 12 years.
Yeah, well, I taught for 8 years.
Oh,
in
even
preschool.
more.
Yeah,
even
so
more.
it was like until I was 30, I lived in that cycle. I never got out of it, and I love it. I love it.
Did you ever have a weird pet, like a ferret or a lizard? Or our last guest had rats.
Oh, dear.
And she's a CEO now.
Well, they are smart. Rats are smart.
Lives in a house.
Wow. I had so many weird pets. We had birds. We had
What kind of birds?
We didn't have them very long because this is
they
really
don't live
sad.
That long.
Yeah,
the cat.
Well, my mom kept accidentally killing some of the pets, and she accidentally killed the birds.
She's like, oopsie daisy.
Yeah, she squeezed it. She was just massaging it really hard, and but no, she. I feel so bad. My mom is actually an emergency room nurse, so she like saves lives, but not animal lives. So, but she gave.
She's
the birds,
robbing souls to feed the other ones.
Yeah, she's only good with one type of animal.
How big is her purse?
Yeah. She gave them a bath and they got pneumonia, and so like my mom has a lot of guilt from that too.
Oh, did birth need bathing?
I have no idea. Like looking back, I'm like, was that necessary?
I'm gonna give this to her because YouTube wasn't invented yet. Like
she didn't know.
The internet wasn't invented.
She didn't know, and I think
was she washing her vagina too? Because I guess you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, yeah, not inside. You never wash inside.
No douching.
She probably
douched
was,
the birds.
but yeah, not at the same time as the birds. Actually, I remember confronting her about this, and she said she had to wash them because they smelled really bad.
Oh,
my mom was like, "They smelled." So yeah, we had birds. Then we had a rabbit briefly. We also had a guinea pig. When I was in 6th grade,
those smell.
Ugh, stinky. When I was in 6th grade, our teacher was breeding gerbils and guinea pigs, and we were selling them to raise money for our class, which seems, you look back and you're like, that's not normal.
Wait, where was in Indianapolis?
In Indianapolis. I went to a Catholic school, so I'm assuming there was less standardization.
Right,
in terms
it's private.
Of the curriculum.
It's a private school. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. And then they did.
They did. They had a guinea pig breeding ring.
Yeah.
Were they fighting? Were they fighting them? Were people betting on them?
They were fighting each other. I remember, and no kid should have to live through this, one of the guinea pigs was getting ready to give birth. We had a sub on that Friday. I could see it. I said, I feel like something's wrong with the guinea pig. We all went home. We came back in on Monday. She had died, and the husband guinea pig had chewed up her body. So we just came into a chewed body in a cage.
Oh. That sounds like guinea pigs.
Yeah, well, they're vicious, apparently, but
people in South America eat them.
Yeah, I would try it. I'm up for trying foods of different cultures.
Yeah. They live in your house and then you eat them when you have a party.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have thought, do you feel like maybe at all that you're a time traveler and like you're from a different time?
I feel, I was always obsessed with time travel, but only traveling to the future. I've really been obsessed with futurism for a long time. I love any books set in the future. When I was in college, we had a future-themed party. It was very theater major in that we did a full photo shoot to prepare for the party. Costumes were mandatory. And to this day, I look at the photos and it's like, we were just taking these with like a, shitty camera. But I look at these, I'm like, these are freaking good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we committed 100%. We had
skills.
Hypnotic. That was the punch that we had. Like futuristic blue. Come on.
Yeah. Everything on point. And then now you're into event planning.
Yep. Now I'm doing events.
Do you think you're taking your theater energy and moving it into how humans experience a party.
Oh, maybe because I did do one of my finest events. I did a baby shower recently, and we went all out. It was for my dear best friend from college. Her baby is now out, and he's doing great, and he's a little cutie. But we went all out. We like decked out. My friend and I did it ourselves. We had different spaces. We had like different. We were like, this is the blue elements are over here, and over here we have the green, and over here we have the pink to honor the mother. So we had spaces. Was
there a card explaining all this, or people just walked in and like, hey, what's up? Is there wine?
Yeah. Well, we had a mimosa bar. We had a
mimosa bar. Did you have a sign saying mimosa? And was it printed or was it hand calligraphied?
Printed.
Pew, pew.
Yeah. It was great. It was really fun.
Have you done at a dinner party? Done little folds that say like name cards where people are supposed to sit?
Well, okay, so I'm thinking about doing this for my wedding, and I have a really fun idea, which I'd love to pitch to you.
Assigned seating.
Yeah, definitely assigned. So my wedding coordinator is actually going to they have mirrors that they print on. So I'm going to have the people can look for their name and find the table on the printed list. But then when they go to the table, what I want to do is this fun craft. You get seashells, because it's a beach wedding, although it is on a terrace. So it's not technically a beach wedding, but it's outdoors and everything. And then seashells, you take cocktail napkins with a print, you tear them apart, and you use decoupage to layer them onto the seashell, and then I'm going to paint in gold the person's name.
Oh my God, that sounds like multi-layered things to do. Okay,
I know, it's a lot of tasking. It's a lot of tasking.
That's a lot. Can you hold my hand for a second? Because, okay. I made all the napkins for my wedding. I made them. I stitched them together because I didn't. Which is like this little fabric you put in and the iron, because I couldn't find the right color to go with things, and it was cheaper than renting the fancy napkins. I made the napkins, and so you're doing that with the name things.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm holding Katie's hand right now.
Squeezing hard.
And I just want to say I give you permission to give up on this project.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
If you are like, do I want to go out with my friends tonight or stay home decoupaging shells?
Right.
I give you permission to go.
See, this is the thing that is, it feels like a Sophie's Choice, where it's like, do I have my life or do I have my wedding the way I want? But my other idea because I want something special for the name tags. I did see on Etsy, they do have like the calligraphy, like, like a watercolor background with the calligraphy. So I might just spring and go for those.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do that. Yeah. I had these, the name cards were a shape of a bird that we had like this cutter to cut the paper, and then they were set into a bird's nest, and then we had those almonds that people have at weddings. Jordan almonds were the eggs in the bird's nest. Well, and
I love this.
It was too much. It was too much to do. My friend Chad had to write them all out, and we should have been drinking instead.
I love that though. I know it's very hard to not get swept up
in the performance.
The details.
And okay. So I know exactly what kind of nerd you are, because I am that nerd too.
Yeah.
You are nerdy for, let's put on a show, and it can be a party. It can be a wedding. It could be a vacation. It's just like, let's get ready. Like I'm excited to pull things together. I get energy from it. It's when I clean the house. Like if we're having a big party.
Oh, I love it.
It's when I have the energy then to like declutter and get ready and lose some weight or whatever it is I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And then all of the details, because I think you can walk through a space in your imagination and you can see it.
Yes, I love it. It is the type A part of myself where I thrive. I love it, and it's fun, and I love having that type of structure.
Yes, and creativity too, because you can imagine something like that wall needs something. You can do pipe and drape. You can do a lens projecting.
Yes,
water bubbles. Like there's so many things you can do in event planning now.
So fun,
and in theater. And
an event is a show. It's a show.
It's a show. Oh, yeah, you're nerdy for the next thing, baby.
Yeah.
I know. I literally looked at my husband the other day, and I'm like, I have nothing to look forward to.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about that? And he's like, how about a 50th birthday party? I'm like, bing, it's 2 years away. That'll give me something for me to chew on.
Amazing.
We had a big party when we turned 45. we had it outside because it was during the pandemic. We took our grand piano outside onto where we parked the car today on our back. I have like a Italianate kind of house, and we did string lights across the driveway.
Oh, beautiful.
And we had a piano player, and it was like a 1920s theme, like a 1930s, 1940s.
I love it.
Fabulous. And it was, kept me, off the pipe and off the pole.
As they say.
Yay. Well, Katie, thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. Tell everybody where they can find you, and tell everybody about your amazing podcast, Lady Journey.
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, I have a lovely podcast called Lady Journey. We talk home decor. We talk whatever fads we're into at the moment. We talk mom stuff.
I learn a lot listening because you guys have your finger on the zeitgeist of what the young people are saying and thinking.
We're on TikTok.
It gets you, if you're an older lady like myself, it gets you updated quickly.
Yes, yeah. And we love it. So I host it with another comic named Sarah Tollemache. LadyJourney.org is our website, and we're on wherever you can get podcasts. We have an Instagram, Lady Journey Podcast.
You have the full video on YouTube.
On YouTube. Thank you so much.
And Sarah Tollemache just had a special that she released on YouTube.
Yes. And it's called Butthole Money.
Butthole Money. And she's all pregnant, and she's hugely pregnant, and she's wearing this little empire white puffy sweet virginal dress.
Beautiful.
And it's, of course,
and she's talking crass.
Well, I think I've seen worse. Her jokes are very smart.
Yes.
And
she's a fantastic comic.
I mean, her Butthole Money is an economics joke.
It truly is.
Yes.
It is. It's capitalist.
It's capitalism. It's highbrow. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Oh, this is lovely.
Thank you.